Hey everybody, HomeSliceHenry here, and in today's video we're going to be taking a look at some incredibly fun battles in the Monotype Cup, featuring a fairly forgotten legacy move that has the meta in absolute shambles. These battles were submitted to the channel by a member of the community, so many thanks for the battle submission. Now this trainer is running Legacy Lick on Shadow Muck, and they're pairing it up with Acid Spray on the save switch, and it's catching a lot of opponents off guard and winning switch advantage quite a bit. So without further ado, let's hop into the matches and check out Legacy Lick Shadow Muck in action in the Monotype Cup. Hopping into the first match, picking up a terrible lead, Umbreon into Clefable. Immediate save switch into Muck, and the opponent responds with a Mew, and Mew is getting absolutely torn to shreds by Lick. Going for the Acid Spray, and to add insult to injury, the opponent shields the Acid Spray. Opponent now has no way to keep switch advantage. Muck can very comfortably match shields, and then just fully farm down with Lick. Dragon Claw will be shielded, Muck gets the farm down, and now Clefable is going to be aligned against the Shadow Grimer later in the game. Opponent's final Pokemon is a Cofagrigus, and this game is so over. Thunder Punch connects, in comes the Umbreon, Clefable met with the Grimer, and the opponent concedes the match. Picking up a fairly neutral lead in the next match, Umbreon into Dragonair. Umbreon can stay in this matchup if it wants to, as Umbreon does have a pretty nice bulk advantage compared to Dragonair. Dragonair is going to fire off a Body Slam. We see a very confident no shield from the Umbreon, as Umbreon can tank multiple charge moves here. Umbreon returning fire with a foul play, that connects, and now the Dragonair is below half HP. Dragonair tries to go for the CMP tie, but Umbreon gets an entire Snarl for free. Umbreon can now reach double foul play here if it wants to, so my guess is the Dragonair is just going to let this through. Foul play will KO. In comes a Shadow Muck. Umbreon going for the Psychic. Do they respect the damage? They do not. We see a save switch into the Lick Muck, and it's a Shadow Grimer in the back, and you already know it is Acid Spray time. Acid Spray gets the shield, and this Lick Acid Spray combination just has opponents in absolute shambles. They go for the Mud Bomb, but it's just not going to matter. The Lick's absolutely shredding through the Grimer. Muck can shield, fully commit to the Lick farm down, and then you already know the opposing Muck is getting Acid Sprayed. Opponent still has a shield, but they are just not going to know where to use it. Acid Spray connects, and the opponent concedes a match. Hopping into the next match, and we see the Dream lead, Umbreon into Cofagrigus. Opponent will immediately save switch into Berserker, and without a direct response to a Berserker save switch, just going to stay in with the Umbreon and get some valuable chip damage with Foul Play. Foul Play connects, and now in comes the Lick Shadow Muck. Muck should be able to tank a move, shield a move, and fully farm down. Opponent will make it to the back-to-back foul plays here, but Muck can very safely shield and farm down and leave with energy to threaten the Cofagrigus. Foul play will be shielded. Muck gets the full Lick farm down, leaving with energy. Opponent is going to fully wait the clock as the switch timers are slightly misaligned here. Opponent going to send in Machamp, so choosing to not send in the Cofagrigus. Thunder Punch will be shielded, trying to farm up and get to the Thunder Punch, not quite able to get there, but now it is Grimer's time to shine. Grimer would not appreciate a Rock Slide here, lets it through, that does so much damage. In comes the Cofagrigus, but the Cofagrigus is now switch locked into an Umbreon, and that basically means game over for the opponent, as Umbreon should be able to massively overfarm in this matchup and leave with enough energy to threaten the Machamp with Psychics. Opponent is going to fire off Shadow Ball after Shadow Ball in this matchup, but it's just not really going to matter. Umbreon can very comfortably tank multiple moves from the Coffin. They go for the Shadow Ball. That is going to connect. Umbreon farming up to 100 energy, and this foul play will be lethal. Opponent can send back in the Machamp here, but then you just throw one Snarl and the Psychic. This should guarantee the shield, and then it is Grimer time. In comes the Grimer, making it to the Mud Bomb, and Shadow Machamp is just too glassy. Mud Bomb gets the knockout, and that's game over. Tough lead means an immediate save switch in the next match, but the opponent is actually not switching out. This opponent took a moment to check the fast move on the Muck, and they realized they can get some big damage with that Meteor Mash, and then send in Vigoroth. Vigoroth double resisting the Licks, so Muck not in the best situation here. Opponent throws energy, and honestly that is perfect. Honestly, that is awesome for the Muck. You can just let this through, and now just send in Umbreon. Umbreon will be able to absorb a lot of damage from the Vigoroth, and then you basically just have to hope that the Grimer can sweep in the back. They're going to fire off body slam after body slam in this matchup, but the nice thing is that honestly doesn't do a lot of damage. Umbreon returning fire with the foul play. This will not KO, but it will get them deep into the red. Vigoroth firing off another body slam. Again, Umbreon does not have to respect this. Umbreon will be able to make it to the foul play, and this will get rid of the Vigoroth. Opponent doesn't really have to shield here, as they can just send back in the Clefable. That's exactly what they're going to do. Umbreon staying in this matchup, farming up to the Psychic and getting there. Psychic will hit for some okay neutral damage. We see the no shield from the Clefable. In comes the Grimer, and Grimer will respect the Meteor Mash here. Meteor Mash will be shielded in the back. Opponent has Kofagrigus, and this is looking like a very tough game for Grimer to win. Grimer is going to commit the shield. Opponent can just go straight Dark Pulse here, as they just need to land a charge move to secure this victory. Grimer is very spammy, however, and Mud Bomb did recently get a buff. Grimer farming up, going for the Mud Bomb here. Opponent has one shield remaining. Do they use it here? Yes, they do. Opponent firing off a charge move, and unfortunately, this is looking like it's game over. Dark Pulse will KO. In comes the Umbreon, and Umbreon is just too low. Umbreon will be hit with a charge move from the Kofagrigus on 1 HP. Dark Pulse KOs, and that's game over. We see a tough lead again in the next match. Umbreon into Primeape, safe switch into Muck, and the opponent is going to respond with a Kanto Grimer. Muck going straight for the Acid Spray here, hoping the opponent respects the Dark Pulse, and they do! Opponent shielding an Acid Spray. Their defense has now been lowered by 2 stages, and Muck is in a great position to grab switch advantage. Mud Bomb will be shielded. Opponent does have the back-to-back moves here. We see the double shield from the Muck. Muck going to look to try and make it to another Acid Spray. Acid Spray being fired. Is the opponent willing to double shield? Yes, they do. They shield 2 Acid Sprays. They get farmed down, and the opponent concedes a match. Umbreon cannot catch a break on the lead, leading into Granbull. We see the Muck save switch met with Kofagrigus, and yet another opponent has fallen for the trap. That is Lick Muck. Acid Spray gets the shield, and we already know how this is going to go. Opponent is going to lose switch advantage, and then their Charmer is going to have to deal with Shadow Grimer, which will absolutely destroy it. They're going to make it to another Dark Pulse, but this is a very comfortable shield for the Muck, as with switch advantage, this game will be a lot easier. In comes a Shadow Ninetales. Ninetales will be met with a Thunder Punch. Opponent has already seen the Acid Spray. They do not want to shield, and that does quite a lot of damage. In comes the Umbreon. Umbreon can be hit with the Shadow Overheat here, but that's not going to KO. So Overheat, not going to be lethal. I'm expecting a switch into the Granbull here, going for the Psychic, anticipating the switch into the Granbull, but the opponent stays in. Psychic will be shielded. Now we see the switch into the Grimer. Grimer going for energy. In comes the Granbull, and Granbull's about to get sludge bombed. This is massive overkill. Get that Granbull out of here. Back in comes the Ninetales. Ninetales firing off a Weather Ball. That will not KO. Grimer farms down and secures the win. We see a familiar lead in the next match, Umbreon into Dragonair. This is a pretty nice matchup for the Umbreon, as Umbreon is able to outpace to its second charge move before Dragonair gets there. At the back-to-back foul plays here, looking to put some pressure onto the Dragonair. Foul play number 1 is going to connect. Opponent goes for a switch into a Fire Spin Ninetales. Ninetales will be met with a foul play. Foul play connects. We're going to see the Umbreon staying in this matchup, just looking to get as much chip damage as possible. Going for foul play number 2. This will not KO, but it will get the Ninetales fairly low. In comes Grimer. Ninetales has so much energy here. This could be the Overheat. Calls a bait. It's the Weather Ball. That is a massive call. Looking for the farm down. They will make another charge move. We see a shield from the Grimer, and that proves to be a big shield as the opponent full sends the Overheat. Grimer gets the farm down. In comes Dragonair. Dragonair not going to appreciate Mud Bomb. Mud Bomb will be shielded. Dragonair firing off a charge move, as Grimer could have made it to another Mud Bomb. Body Slam will KO. In comes Muck. In the back, it's a Registeel, and this is going to be interesting. Muck going to go for the Thunder Punch here, just looking for chip damage instead of a debuff. Thunder Punch will be shielded, continuing to farm with the Muck, and Muck definitely will not appreciate Zap Cannon damage. Zap Cannon will be shielded. We do see an attack debuff. That is quite unfortunate. Muck firing off a Thunder Punch. This is now debuffed, of course, doing less than it typically would. Muck will need a catch to win and does not get it. Registeel, Zap Cannon, nearly KOs. In comes the Umbreon, but this is not foul play range. So unfortunately, it looks like the opponent will have this game won. Foul play will connect onto the Registeel. That will not get farmed down. Registeel will KO the Umbreon, and the Dragonair is just too healthy in the back. Dragonair snipes with the Dragon Breath, and that's game over. We see Dragonair lead yet again in this match, but this time the Dragonair is Shadow. Umbreon, again, will have very similar pacing to the first charge move, but will outpace the second. Dragonair is going to fire off the Body Slam. We see the very comfortable no-shield from the Umbreon. And the nice thing is, since this is a Shadow Dragonair, the foul play will very comfortably two-shot. Umbreon will be able to outpace here, getting to the foul play, and we see a switch and a catch by the opponent as they catch the foul play onto a Typhlosion. That is a very cool pick from the opponent. Typhlosion will make it to the Blast Burn. Blast Burn hits for massive damage, so we will see a shield from the Grimer. Grimer gets the full farm down, leaving with energy to threaten the Dragonair. In comes the Dragonair. Muck will be able to throw one Poison Jab and still outpace. Mud Bomb gets the shield. Dragonair firing off a Body Slam. We will see a shield from the Grimer here. Grimer looking potentially for the farm down. Grimer gets the farm down in the back. Opponent has an Ember Ninetales. Ninetales not going to appreciate the Mud Bomb. Mud Bomb will be shielded. We see a pivot into the Shadow Muck. Muck farming up, will be hit with the charge move from the Ninetales. Ninetales needs the overheat to KO. Oh, it's a Psyshock. That will also do it. The Grimer gets farmed down, and now it's all up to Umbreon. Can Umbreon withstand the Shadow Weather Ball here? This will be close. Weather Ball into the Umbreon, gets the Umbreon low. Umbreon able to hang on and make it to the foul play. What a roller coaster of a game. Foul play KOs, and that is a good game. Tough lead in the next match, Umbreon versus Umbreon. Despite the fact that this is a mirror lead, if the opponent is running Last Resort, then this could get awkward very quickly. Opponent is going to win CMP. Let's see, do they have Last Resort? They do. So this is a very tough matchup to be a Psychic Umbreon. Going to fire off the foul play here. Foul play is going to connect. And as you can see, that just does not do a lot of damage in this matchup as it is going to be resisted. Whereas the opponent does have access to Last Resort. Going for foul play after foul play in this matchup. Unfortunately, can't really save switch into the Muck until you get some chip damage, because of course Lick is going to be heavily resisted by the Umbreon. Continuing to farm up, firing off the foul play here. Foul play will again be no shielded by the opponent. Opponent still not below half health. There we go. We finally see the opponent make it into the yellow health. Umbreon will be hit with the Last Resort. Do we see a pivot at some point here? Going for the foul play. Foul play again. The opponent at this point knows it's not going to be a Last Resort. They can very comfortably no shield here. Continuing to farm. This Last Resort will come very close to KOing. Last Resort barely will not KO. Looking to potentially switch, but decides against it and is now going to go for the foul play. Foul play will connect. Going for foul play number 2, we actually see a switch by the opponent. Opponent catching the foul play onto a Shadow Muck. And now we have the battle of Shadow Mucks, but the opponent is running the standard Poison Jab, whereas he is running Lick. We do see a shield. Opponent goes for the Thunder Punch. Muck potentially looking for the farm down here. Going for the Thunder Punch. I think that was a CMP tie. Let's see. Thunder Punch will connect, and it is the CMP tie there. That is a bit unfortunate. Thunder Punch will KO. Down a shield. This is looking a bit awkward. Making it to the Acid Spray, though. This could be big. Is the opponent going to shield the Acid Spray? And they do. Let's go. All right, we have the Battle of Grimers. This is going to be interesting. Opponent, of course, does have a small energy lead. They're going to fire off the Mud Bomb, and that will be shielded. Continuing to farm up. Going for the Mud Bomb here. Opponent, ooh, man, I think this is going to need a catch to win. Farming up, and the catch onto the Umbreon, waiting a little bit, getting the catch. What a beautiful play. And now Grimer in a position to sweep, gets the farm down, and the opponent concedes the match. Hopping into the final match, we see a tough lead, Umbreon into Vigoroth. Considering Vigoroth is going to double resist the Licks as well, can't really save switch into the Muck, so just going to stay in here and play it out with Umbreon. Foul play is going to connect. Opponent tried to go for the CMP tie, but that proves to be a risky play, as now Vigoroth has given Umbreon an entire Snarl for free. Opponent now throwing on good timing, going for the Body Slam here. This will not KO, but it will get the Umbreon low. Umbreon going for the foul play, but it's actually caught onto a Politoed. Politoed could prove to be a bit uncomfortable here. Going to send in the Muck. These Licks adding up, and so will the Thunder Punch. Thunder Punch, I think, will come close to KOing here. Opponent is going to commit the shield, and Muck is going to let this go. Politoed firing off the Weather Ball. Weather Ball does some very solid chip damage onto the Muck. Muck continuing to farm, just letting the Muck go, trusting in the fact that Grimer can now use this as an opportunity to get an energy lead. Fully waiting the clock, as of course the Muck was switch locked, and now it's time for Grimer to shine. Grimer is gonna no-shield the Weather Ball here, trusting that with shields, Grimer can sweep. That is a big call. Grimer gets the full farm down. This is gonna be close. Opponent has Shadow Dragonair in the back. All right, firing off the Mud Bomb here. Dragonair is going to commit the shield. We see a switch into the Umbreon, going for the foul play, but it's caught onto Vigoroth. Going for the undercharge here. Foul play will not KO. Opponent gets the farm down. Grimer looking for the farm down and gets the perfect farm down. You have got to be kidding me. What an insane play. Sludge Bomb, get that Dragonair out of here. And that is a good game. All in all, these are some incredibly fun battles to watch. It's really cool seeing someone think outside the box when it comes to a limited meta and have a lot of success with it along the way. It is a bit tough using an Elite TM just for a 2-week meta, so I don't know if I can fully recommend using the Elite TM, but hey, it looks like for Cytochrome he did get some nice results with it. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you're enjoying the content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And a special thank you as always to our members here on YouTube. The support you guys provide is absolutely incredible. So thank you guys oh so very much. And until next time, I've been HomeSliceHenry.